Joining us for a conversation regarding the deployment of police in Osun State is CSP Anietie Iniedu. Good to have you. Good evening.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me here. I'm really grateful.
So, I mean, it's interesting that the police is deploying 15,000 of its personnel to these elections. What specifically would this policeman be doing in regards to these particular elections?
First of all, I want to thank the Inspector General of Police for permitting me to be on set here with you. This is an off-cycle election, and we don't just transfer or post men or deploy men. Prior to the elections, we had conducted our threat analysis across the 30 states of 30 local government areas of Osun State. Osun State has over 3,300 polling units with over 2.4 million registered voters. And so with our analysis, we thought the best we could do was to deploy 15,000 of our men down to Osun State. And it is pertinent to note that we had started this deployment about 2 weeks ago. So our men are on ground and in charge prior to the election.
What specific measures will the police be putting in place so it doesn't look like the police is actually intimidating the people? Because 15,000 for a state election looks like it's off the mark.
No, when you look at 15,000, it sounds quite much. But when you factor in the number of polling units you have in Osun State and the number of local governments, and as well as the number of registered voters, we are not there to intimidate anybody. However, what the results we get from this particular election will make or mar our preparations for the general elections. And so the deployment is not to intimidate anybody, but the deployment is to ensure that all our stakeholders and electoral assets are properly protected, and we hold a fair, credible and free election for the next elections in Osun State.
If you look at the elections in Ekiti State that just happened a few weeks ago, putting it side by side with what we have that is coming forward, you know that the dynamics of these two elections are actually very different.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm just wondering, because again, you look at issues of vote buying, you look at issues of intimidation, you look at the issues, relating to security problems, how different do you think that the police would, postulate regarding this particular election, going into these Osun State elections?
Just like you already answered the question, it's a very serious one for us. And like I told you, for every theater or area of responsibility we go into, we first run our threat analysis. Our threat analysis lets us know how to plan. It gives the IGP election planning, monitoring and evaluation unit the feedback on things to put in place for the election. And so no two elections are the same, and no two areas of responsibility are the same. And so for what we've gathered for Osun State is informing our plans for the election. Thank you.
All right, so the Inspector General of Police have actually, put down some reforms regarding, it's Nigeria's elections going forward. We've also seen that there are some initiatives that have been introduced by the police since he came into office. Can you give us an overview of what he has done and, of course, what we can basically take away from what these initiatives are regarding general policing of the country?
The 23rd Indigenous Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunji Rilwan Disu, PSC Daga NPM, is a well-grounded and well-trained police officer. And on assumption of office, he said something. He said, the citizens are the boss. And he said, today marks the end of the era of impunity. The Inspector General of Police is running an intelligence-led community collaborative policing. And in community collaborative policing, we are listening to members of our community. We're listening to them, we're getting feedback from them, we're getting intelligence from them, and we are acting on it. Now, remember, there's nothing the police can do except with cooperation from members of the public. And one of the most outstanding principles or methods the ideas introduced is the handshake policing. where CPs at bordering states are able to collaborate together to deal with and dismantle criminal syndicates operating within their borders. We've had successes in Benue and Plateau borders. We've also had major successes in the Edo and the Ondo border. We've also had massive success at the Lagos and Ogun border area with the Operation Kosaye ongoing. Thank you.
Well, we've seen our elections come with several issues.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, really, what would be your word to political actors? Because I've seen some reports from the CSOs giving their preliminary thought about what the elections will look like, giving the attacks, targeted political attacks, and security concerns, as the case may be. I mean, we just read that right now that EFCC has frozen the account of the Osun State government. So, I mean, building up to this particular election, you see a lot of dynamics playing. What are the police actually telling political actors on the ground regarding this particular elections?
First of all, our primary role as the Nigerian Police Force, the lead internal security agency in Nigeria, is to maintain law and order during the electoral process. And so, as a force, we call on members of the public to turn out en masse and vote for the elections. The Nigerian Police Force will not tolerate any incidents of electoral thuggery or intimidation. We will not tolerate the use of our men to intimidate anybody coming to cast this franchise. And we want to also plead with parents, especially mothers, to advise their wards to be peaceful and not to be used for anything, any unlawful act during the election. The blood of any Osun citizen is not worth the political price of anyone. Thank you.
All right. CSP Anietie Iniedu, thank you so much for coming. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I'm really grateful. I hope to come here again some other time.
All right.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
All right, we're headed for a very short break. When we return, the 6th edition continues. Just stay with me.